I was watching the game.
I fell asleep.
That's fine. I got you. I got you with the analysis and breakdown right here.
I watched the first 3 quarters. I was like, you know what? OKC got it, right? Playing well. Indiana turned the ball over. If Indiana comes back.
It was wild.
I know.
Like, I had to do a double take when they were like, Indiana takes the lead. I was like, no, but.
Oh, I know. Because I watched it this morning. Like, why? How?
And you want to know how? Indiana hit a lot of shots in that fourth quarter. And OKC didn't. If they went match for match, OKC would have won.
Mm-hmm.
But OKC just wasn't hitting their shots in the fourth. And for the beat the Pacers team, you have to play all 48 minutes. And OKC did not play all 48 minutes. They weren't creating shots all 48 minutes. They were playing good defense, but Pacers were just hitting their shots. When they get in that zone, they're hard to stop. So I guess this is a wake-up call for OKC. It's only game 1.
It is only game 1, but I think, the Pacers, they really wanted to make a statement. They really wanted to be like, okay, we get OKC is the favorite for a lot of people, but do not forget how we got here.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
well, we'll see if OKC adjusts. We'll see.
I think they played.
They could have put some fear in them.
I'm not gonna lie. If OKC just connected on a little bit more, because they forced how many turnovers did they force? How
29.
many? 29 fucking turnovers.
I'm sorry. 24.
24. They forced 24 turnovers. You should win the game by double digits every time. But they didn't capitalize on those 24 turnovers. Not all of them. They maybe had what?
Wait,
How
so
many
when's the
points
next game? Tomorrow?
It's Sunday.
Oh no, that's 2 days off. Yeah, you're right.
Sunday. And as if I'm OKC's coach, I'm looking at it and we just didn't finish. Pause. But it may
Just, oh God, I
But-
hate that
but
our
they
society
get-
has
they
come
get-
to this.
Hey, it's NBA's fault. NBA has that terminology, right?
Yeah.
It's the NBA's fault.
and they just couldn't finish out the game. And they couldn't what do you call it? Make an opportunity out of Indiana's misfortunes, right? Because they were playing real damn good defense. And they were only up by 12 at half. It's respectfully, they should have been up by 30.
Well,
I'm going to keep it real.
This is what
because
happened.
Indiana was not playing good.
Right.
And in the first half, when we're talking about this, and we're going to talk about how Indiana won the game, that's fine. But they were awful. In the fourth quarter, they were great. But they were not good throughout this entire game. Sure, they had runs of it's an 8-0 run. But then they started giving up threes, and then they started giving up layups, and then turning the ball over. OKC's a better team. But they lost. It is what it is.
I know why he's mad. He's mad because
I did pick him in 4.
He's picked him
but
in
that's
4.
not why I'm mad. I'm not even mad either. It's just because you
so-
saw how
you're
they
so
played
mad.
the entire game, and it's you still couldn't get it done.
Right.
You played so well the entire game, you still couldn't get it done.
Well, okay, I'll say this about Indiana, right? I hate that I'm playing the devil advocate right now, but I will say
you're
this. No, I am.
You're not.
We know you're loving it, so hush.
It's
Keep
fine.
going.
It's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Because honestly, Indiana was hot. They were hot in that fourth quarter, and that is the fault of OKC.
But this is what Indiana does, right? OKC cannot miss shots because Indiana will always score. No matter what point in the game, no matter where it's at, they are guaranteed to get almost 120 points almost
So they have
every
to play
single
a perfect
game.
against the Pacers?
Not perfect. They just have to be a little bit better.
on offense, yeah.
You have to get a lead against Indiana. You have to.
And you have to maintain it. When they are scoring, when Indiana starts getting on a little bit of a run, you have to match.
Yes.
You cannot let Indiana just go on these runs where they're just scoring and you're not.
You have to you have to capitalize off their turnovers that they give you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to deny their turnovers all the time, right? All the time, because Indiana in a close game will win it. They will win it. They will hit all their shots in the fourth and in the second half. They're a second half team, right? You have to at least trade buckets with them. At least, if you could trade buckets with Indiana with a lead, you're gonna win the game. That's it. And this OKC team should be able to do that because Indiana's defense is not that good. It's not. So it should be a very easy win for OKC, but once you start missing shots, and once you start not capitalizing on turnovers, and once you start turning the ball over yourself, Indiana is going. And OKC does not have a good rebounding team. They don't. Chet Holmgren's not a good center. Isaiah Hartenstein's not a good. He's a good rebounder, not great, right? So the Pacers will get the rebounds all the time. You have to trade buckets with Indiana in the fourth quarter and have a lead. Otherwise, they're going to pull away, and they're going to have a chance to win the game. That's what they do. They're very, very good in the fourth quarter at scoring buckets and operating their offense. OKC's defense was a big problem in the second half, especially in the fourth when I watched it over. Too many wide open shots, too many easy looks to the rim, not enough guarding up, not enough of their usual pressure defense that they have. They were not in passing lanes. It was a defensive meltdown in the fourth quarter from OKC, and you cannot do that against Indiana team unless you have a lead or you're scoring with them. You could play bad defense against Indiana because Indiana also plays bad defense, so you could score in Indiana, but you have to score. That's the key here. You can have a terrible defensive scheme and still win the game against Indiana. But the minute you start missing shots, Indiana will make you pay for it and they will punish you for it. That's exactly what happened here.
Yeah. And, when SGA had a chance to put them up by 3, didn't.
Yep.
Missed that shot, and it was a good look. It's a wide open mid-range shot. Like, he had separation. Maybe there was a guy, trying to contest, but that's a shot he typically makes, and he missed it.
And SGA had a really good game. He had 38 points.
SGA was very aggressive in this game, which I liked, and I think he has to be that aggressive because when they're trying, first off, nobody could guard him on the Pacers. Nobody can. You could put him in pick and roll. You could put somebody on him. He's going to either get by them or he's going to hit a shot over them.
But you know what too? And I genuinely hate that I'm gonna say this. Genuinely hate that I'm gonna say this right now.
Say it.
Great players know how to make clutch shots, and Tyrese Halliburton can make a clutch shot with his eyes closed. Shea has not proven that yet. And you saw that in the when it mattered the most. Doesn't matter how many points he scored. Doesn't matter how he played. When the shot came to him, he didn't hit it.
He didn't.
That's a big marker on him right now.
Yeah.
So he has to come back in game 2 and at least prove that he can dominate this team, or he can hit a clutch shot when it matters, like Halliburton can. Because Halliburton has proven he can go off, he can make clutch shots, and when it matters the most, you put the ball in his hands, he's probably gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they didn't call timeout. He comes out the court, gets separation on Casey Wallace, and just pulls up and hits the shot. I mean, it was a great shot. Pretty open, too. That wasn't the best contest from Wallace. Mm-hmm. And they won the game. And, I mean, I'm genuinely shocked that they won the game because I'm looking at the defense that OKC's playing, and I'm like, how are you not up by 30? How? You should – a 12-point lead? That is unacceptable. And that's how good OKC is. That's the only reason why I'm acting like this is because they're damn good. You cannot, and I mean cannot, how you force 10 turnovers in the first quarter and we're only up by 9? Only 9? That's it? You got to be up by 20. There's no way you can't be that dominant on defense and then when it comes time to capitalize on their mistakes, we'll turn over the ball after we get a turnover. We'll just miss it. We'll just break it. We'll be a turnover on us again. You can't play that level of defense and then not capitalize at least 50% on those turnovers that you make them commit.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, that's probably what they're going to be working on is when we get the turnover, what are we running? Are we going to execute? If we have numbers, this is what we are going to do. If they have their 5 and we're going to run a half-court set, this is what we're going to run off of turnovers. Get them scrambling. And just capitalizing. Just hitting your shots when it matters most.
Yep.
Because OKC genuinely played the better game. But Indiana won.
And that's how Indiana does it.
That's how it happens, man. Even in the Knicks series, game 1, Knicks were torching their ass. And Indiana, fourth quarter, they got touched by God. I don't know what you want me to say. But we'll see game 2. We'll see.
I'm looking at it right now. First quarter, 29-20, OKC won that quarter. Second quarter, 28-25, OKC won that quarter. Third quarter, 31-28, Indiana won that quarter, but it was close, right? 15-point lead. Fourth quarter, 35-25, Indiana won that quarter by 10 points.
Not good enough.
You cannot score 25 points, Indiana's 35. You have to at least be at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Your offensive execution has to at least be there for them to get to where they need to be. And it's just was not good enough. I'm trying to figure out points off turnovers, but here we go. Points conceded off turnovers. So Indiana had 25 turnovers in this game. Indiana only gave up 11 points off turnovers out of a possible.
That is unfucking acceptable.
Yeah.
By OKC.
Yeah.
If you have turnovers, my marker, if you give up if you force 25 turnovers, you should have 25 points. You should have either the same or right around that range of how many you gave up. That's half. Because either you're hitting a 2, so the 25 turnovers, that's 50 points, or maybe you sprinkle in a 3 here and there, maybe that's 60. But at least half. At least get the same amount of points as turnovers.
Yeah. And the two sets I'm looking at right now too. 3-point percentage throughout the game. OKC 30-37. Indiana 46% from 3.
OKC not good enough.
18 from 39, sorry.
And I will say that's a decent percentage for the whole team, not against Indiana. Not good enough.
Yeah. Your offensive output has to at least be it doesn't have to be better. It just has to be a little bit better than.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be spectacular. Shea doesn't have to drop 40.
Yeah, because if you look at the field goal percentage, they shot under 40%.
Yeah.
They have the same amount of field goals, but look at how many more shots they took.
39 of 98.
They took 16 more shots than Indiana.
And I will say a stat that doesn't surprise me, but has to be cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana 56 rebounds, OKC 39. That rebound number, I know rebounding is not a big deal anymore, but on the finer margins in NBA Finals, those rebounds matter.
When it's a 1-point game, this matters.
Yeah. So those rebound numbers have to at least even themselves out for OKC. Because if Indiana dominates on the glass and they're getting defensive stops and getting offensive rebounds, it's not going to work.
It's going to be hard. That's what their offense feeds off of. They get the ball, they're running, they're pushing, they're shooting threes, and they're constantly on you.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's not going to stop.
Yeah.
So you have to match it. And, if you force 25 turnovers, if I'm Mark Dagnall, I'm literally, kicking rocks at this team. It's like, how do you not convert off these? How?
Yeah.
They should have won this game by 50.
Indiana did everything right. OKC, when it mattered, and same thing happened in the Knicks series. When it mattered, they did everything wrong. Right? Indiana are Rick Carlisle. This is not like a team that just got here. Rick Carlisle is a great coach. He made adjustments and he made it work. They beat the best team in the East in the Cavaliers. They beat a very, very good Knicks team. They had problems, sure, but they beat that team very well. Right? Arguably dominated them. Right? This Indiana team is no joke. They are a really, really solid team. Mm-hmm. But you just figure with the matchup that they'll be better.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, and when it mattered the most, OKC did not show up in the fourth quarter. And that can't happen with this Pacer team. It just can't.
Now, granted, and you know what's funny? You can't even chalk it up to they had an off night if you're OKC.
Yeah, no.
You had a fucking fantastic night.
110.
You forced 25 fucking turnovers? That's a fucking great defensive night.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They should have had 130 points.
Yeah.
Or at least close to it.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. It should have been at least close to a 20-point win. That's how much those points off those turnovers matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 20-point swing.
And in the NBA Finals, it's really at this point, it's the fine things that matter. It's the very fine, and I said this in the next year. I said this in the reaction. I said this in the analysis. Indiana does the fine details better than anybody I've seen. They do the little things that matter in these games that let them win. OKC needs to come out the next and on Sunday and do that. They have to literally not perfect basketball, but good fundamental basketball. Mm-hmm. That's the only way it works. Because Indiana will match that.
Yeah.
And if you're matching Indiana, that means you could score on them. That means you should be better than them.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it's game one.
It's game one.
It's game one.
No series is won or lost in game one unless you're the Knicks. So
thanks.
It was right there. I had to. It was right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah. Of course it was. But I think for me at least, and it's just my philosophy. There's no background to it. There's no stats behind it. I feel like game one's the most important. I feel like game 1's always a must-win. So Indiana winning game 1 is super now because it puts all the pressure on OKC to win game 2. So Indiana did their job. They stole a game.
Yeah,
in
literally,
OKC.
that is their job. Just take one over there. You don't
Yeah.
even gotta win 2. Just take one.
Yeah.
That's it. And
So-
they did their job. Respectfully, if they lose game 2, you go back to your house tied. Perfect. That's what you want. So
Yeah.
we'll see it on Sunday.
See you on Sunday.
We'll see it on Sunday.